Hey everybody, Sandra here. So it has been 4 years. I can't believe it. Since I first realized my true self. It was in June of 2015, and I've told the story 1,000 times about how I was watching a movie called Tomboy, and that something just inside of me clicked. That it was like this epiphany, this moment of, wow, suddenly I realize I'm not cis. I'm something else, something more than that. I've also said 1,000 times, took a couple months to figure out that I'm gender fluid and not trans, and kind of going through all that trouble and stress and all that kind of stuff. But here I am, and very comfortable. Probably the most comfortable that I have been ever. And I haven't posted since, I think, January. And I know because the last time I posted, I was talking about getting top surgery and how I was seeing a gender therapist and all this kind of stuff. Well, that kind of fell apart. Even though I'd seen a top surgeon here in Maryland, I guess there was a miscommunication. I'm not sure. But according to my gender therapist, I'm too overweight for top surgery. Body mass index is too high, and no one's going to touch me if I'm this high, and, you got to lose all this weight, and on and on and on. Huge blow. It really impacted me for probably a solid month. Just looking in the mirror was horrible, and just feeling trapped inside this body and not being able to be like, oh, wow, I can plan top surgery. I had it all figured out about who I wanted to go to, how I was going to pay for it, everything. And suddenly my world was turned upside down. And I just realized that this is me. This is my body. I have been overweight almost my entire life, and that is due to medication and to the fact that I'm technically disabled. I have severe spine problems. I was born with a fractured spine, and it's turned into sciatica and all this other stuff that I have. I have about 3 or 4 spine conditions that make it difficult to even walk long distances and to work out really at all. And then with the medications I'm on, I mentioned before in a couple videos, I think that I'm bipolar, and those medications, number one side effects, gain weight, hold weight. So, and plus I enjoy food. I'm not someone that wants to sit there and starve myself and eat nothing but kale. I mean, I'm a vegetarian. I eat very well. So it's just kind of one of those things where I've been the same weight for a long time. It doesn't really change. I'm healthy otherwise. And so when I was like, all right, I'm comfortable with that, I started to look in the mirror at that point and be like, just because I have breasts does not change who I am. Just because my lower half is not male, I mean, I don't really even pack much anymore because I've become so comfortable with, I'm still gender fluid. I'm still got the guy side of me, even though I'm in this body that isn't what I want. I would much rather be in a guy body. This is true. But it just isn't the cards that I've been dealt. This is the life. This is the way that I am. And honestly, why change that? I've become pretty happy with where I'm at and the person I've become. And I think that being overweight and having breasts and all that kind of stuff shouldn't change my level of comfort or happiness in my own life. So that was a huge epiphany. That was huge. And so the last couple of months, I've just been I still bind. I do. I pack occasionally, but I've just been in a really peaceful place when it comes to my physical dysphoria. Every so often, personality-wise, it's pretty obvious. I got a new job, which I totally and completely love, but it's 99% women. My boss, thank goodness, is a guy, and so having him around keeps me sane, because I'm still much more of a guy personality. I mean, they talk about fashion and, all kinds of stuff that I'm just not interested in. I prefer, talking sports and other things like that. So socially, it's still kind of a little bit of an issue being gender fluid in the workplace, but I came out at work today. which is what prompted this video. I was talking to my new coworkers. I've been there since end of April, and the social media world popped up. And I mentioned that I do have a Facebook, but it's under a different name. And one of my coworkers said, I'd like to add you. What's the name? So there it was, moment of decision. Do I say yes? Do I say no? What do I say? What do I do? And I just finally was like, you know what? I'm Genderfluid. It's under Sandra Mason. And my boss was there. She was there. My coworker, one of my other coworkers. And I said, you know, I'm Genderfluid. It's the Facebook page is under my guy self. And they all looked at me and just went, that's okay. I was like, really? Wow, that was totally not a big deal like I thought it was going to be. But I knew it would be a good place too, because I'm very familiar with the policies and procedures as part of what I do, and there's a lot in there that's very pro-trans. They're very sensitive to the trans and the LGBT community where I work. So I did feel comfortable doing that. But that's the first time that outside of my family and social media, a few friends and an open mic, that I'm out. That somebody knows I'm Sandra Mason. So that was a huge deal for me. It was really exciting. And just again, that level of comfort, it just keeps growing in the confidence every day. Because the more that I just accept myself and the way that I am in this package, it's just, the possibilities are just opening up like crazy. And I mean, when I went to the open mic last week, I was probably the most talkative I've ever been. Usually I'm kind of the person that sits in the corner and claps but doesn't really mingle that much. And I just felt so empowered as myself. I hadn't been to the open mic in months. Long story. I finally got back there and just started talking to people and just being myself. And yeah, it's been pretty awesome. It's been very hard to get to this point. I've had a few blows, a few problems here and there, of course. I did lose some of my support system. My best friend basically disappeared without saying goodbye, so that was fun. And then one of my other best friends, several years ago now, things kind of fell apart, and she was a huge part of my support system. So in the friendship side of things, that's been really hard to deal with on those days when you're feeling lonely and you don't have anybody to talk to. But I've had my family. They've been very supportive. And everybody at the open mic and most people on social media had their supportive side. And now I have work that's okay with me being Sander. I still go by my female self and female name there and all that kind of stuff. But at least now I can breathe, and suddenly I don't really have a secret life anymore. Everywhere knows. And it took 4 years to get to that point. But that's what it's about. You know, with coming out, it's steps. Coming out to yourself is first. That was the hardest thing for me. And I made it. I absolutely made it. So I always say I hope to make more videos, and then 6 months go by. And I haven't made any videos since. But I want to thank all you subscribers out there. As usual, you guys are great. Everybody that watches and listens. Hopefully I'll be able to get a few more videos in before the end of this year. There's certainly some things I'd like to talk about, some more different things about coming out and other stuff, and some gear I'm getting and things like that. But until then, I just want to wish you all a very happy day. So does my cat, apparently. And I'll catch you later.